In today's video, we're going to talk about how you can stop wasting enormous amounts of money on marketing.
We're going to get reflective about being effective.
Let's go. So today we're going to continue our series called Content That Converts. Now, if you didn't see our previous video, check it out right up there, where we talked about how important your audience is to creating content. And the importance around that is that you're creating content that is consistent and constant. Now, with me on this journey is my consistent and constant partner, Bobby.
Appreciate it, partner, once again. Now, Jeff was talking about creating constant and consistent content, but sometimes as business people, we think, oh my goodness, ain't nobody got time for that. And it can be hard. So you know what? We're gonna create content that someone already created and recreate it. And then we're like, well, they're successful, but we're not. Why is that? And so Jeff, in this video, let's kind of talk about why people aren't finding success in recreating content.
Yeah, so I think, the biggest thing that we really want to drill into here around your audience is knowing who your audience is and who they're not. And so like one of the biggest challenges that we see with the clients that we work with is that oftentimes we fall into the trap ourselves of thinking that we can market to everybody. In other words, that everybody is our audience, and that's just really not the case.
Exactly. Now, there's a saying out there that says, like, if you're trying to reach everybody, guess who they're gonna reach? Absolutely nobody.
And one of the things we do see, obviously we take our cues from probably businesses that are much larger than ours. You can learn a lot from them, but you can also learn a lot of things not to do. So if you're watching a Super Bowl commercial, obviously nobody can afford those multi-million-dollar ads. And if you really take a look at businesses like Coca-Cola, what they're really doing, in my opinion, is they're putting out information that really kind of fits more into the branding sphere versus the marketing sphere.
And that's a really great point that you just made there, is that there is a difference between branding, actual branding, which is kind of like the creative side, versus marketing towards your audience. Now let's dig a little deeper into that.
Yeah, so for example, the healthcare systems that you'll find oftentimes are spending a lot of money putting themselves out there at the community level. Now, they are serving a great purpose. They're giving a lot of their money away. They're being a part of the community. But a business like ours, there's no way that we could afford to do that on a consistent basis. So a healthcare system, Coca-Cola, other large businesses, they're basically like taking a pebble and they're throwing it into the water. And the ripples continue to flicker, and we're not going to forget them because they won't let us, quite honestly. They just continue to put that messaging out there. So we have to find that clever little mix of marketing and branding, but we've just got to be really, really careful about who the audience is, because we want to be very effective at who our messaging is going to.
Now, there's a saying out there that talks about comparing yourself to other people's middle in their journey when you're at the beginning. And if you're a small business, like, you have to start somewhere. You can't expect that, hey, right away with marketing and branding, I'm going to make billions of dollars. It's going to take work. And I think the first thing is that you have to recognize who your audience is.
Step one in identifying who your audience is identifying maybe who they're not. So Bobby, let's pick a product or a service.
Okay.
Let's say that we're going to start a brand new business. What would that be?
It would be called JP and BP Beard Oils.
That's a long title. Maybe Bobby's Beards.
Bobby's Beards. I love it.
I like that. All right. Or Bobby's Beard Balm.
Hey, there we go.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, for Bobby, we need to identify who his audience is not, because that's our step one, right? He is not going to market Bobby's Beard Balm to 15-year-olds. Am I right?
For the most part, I started my beard when I was 13. So, there's a couple exceptions to the rule, but regardless, not to 15 and under.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, well, I'll see if I can find a picture.
All right. So we know 15-year-olds aren't going to be in the beard category, and I'll bet that on the older part of the demographic, unless your name is Saint Nick and you're living up at the North Pole, it's probably a large amount of men at a certain age that aren't going to buy beards. So now you have this smaller group of beard growers, but you also need to remember that women are the consumers. They are the decision makers in the household. So I would wager you want to make sure that the girlfriends, the spouses, they're included in some of that marketing.
So number 2 has to do with research, and that's really researching your competition and seeing what they are doing and how you can do that more effective.
Yeah, because there's no sense in rebuilding the wheel. If somebody else out there is doing something similar, I'm sure there's another beard balm company that's out there, right?
Just not as good as Bobby's beard balm.
Probably not. But yeah, they're probably doing some things right, but they're probably doing some things that you could do even better. With the passion of a business owner, that's where you can end up eclipsing your competition all day long. And then step 3 is be open to experimentation. So you see what your competition is doing, you see what your gut's kind of telling you. So experiment with this a little bit. Be okay. You know, in today's world with YouTube and Google and Facebook, there's a lot of experimentation that you can do where you're not going to spend near the amount of money that you used to.
Are there any questions before we proceed?
I have one question, Dr. Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein.
By hiring focus groups. So you can test messaging, you can test headlines, you can test all sorts of information on content to experiment and then finally arrive at who that final audience is going to be that you're going to gear your content toward.
Are there any last questions before we leave?
Dr. Frank.
And these last 2 points, they don't necessarily have to do with like the comparison about what we talked about earlier, but it's about being strategic and planning on how you can be more effective within your branding and your marketing. In every video, we want to give you guys bonus, valuable content. So Jeff, hit them with it.
Look at similarities of things that your audience would enjoy, and there oftentimes are ways to cross-promote. So for example, if we go back to beard growers, and Bobby's beard balm is the topic. Okay, so what are things that other beard growers enjoy?
I mean, they enjoy maybe traveling, motorcycles, but a lot of them actually craft beers.
I mean, he's right. Like a lot of the folks that I know that are really into the beard community, yeah, they really enjoy those craft beers. So I think there's just that nice component of the beer and the beard growers that could really come together at a local level that can continue to grow out, going from the city to the state to the national level, to where, you know, beard growing being synonymous with craft beers. There's just some cool cross-promotional opportunity that maybe could come out of that. And then just kind of creating content for your beard growers talking about craft beer. Boom, there you go. Bomb, kaboof.
Done. All right, Jeff, why don't we recap this video? Recap time.
All right, so step 1 is, in order to identify your audience, identify who they are not. Step 2 is to take a look at your competition, do some research, and do the things that they're doing, but you just do them a little bit better. And step 3 is experiment. Use the dollars that are available, the minimal dollars available through some of the social media marketing that you can do, so that you can arrive at a really clever, consistent, constant message that your audience is going to enjoy.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us and watching this.
You can't wrap this up yet. We haven't done that.
Jeff, I'm getting there. You can't rush greatness, man.
All right. Your beardedness. I'm sorry.
Like I was saying, thank you so much for watching this content. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell to get notified. Yes. We want to have a conversation down there with you guys in the comment section. And you know who has an amazing beard?
Who?
Caleb Hoover. Yes, Caleb Hoover.
Caleb's a buddy of ours in Sioux Falls. He does. He's got a sweet YouTube channel. If you own a Panasonic GH5, he's got a great channel.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next one. But before we go, remember in 2021 to own your story.
Okay.
Cool. I almost forgot about that part. Yeah. And you know who has an amazing beard?
Who?
Caleb Hoover.
He does.
He has
Caleb,
a gorgeous beard.
Caleb does. Caleb's a buddy of ours. He's a videographer in Sioux Falls. He does have a gorgeous
He has a
beard.
gorgeous beard.
He does. Have you ever touched it?
No, not yet. That's a little weird. We don't. And the people in the beard
touch yours.
community, people in the beard community don't do that. All right. I was thinking one more time. That's funny. All right, here we go.